Hello, my name is Starlight. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and I'm reaching out to all of you beautiful souls out there. I hope you're able to get out in nature, and today it's a beautiful day here. It was really cold in the morning but warmed up. And besides that, if you are new to my YouTube channel, welcome, and you can find me on YouTube, and that is at Starlight, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman. Plus, you can give this video a thumbs up, and you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. Plus, don't forget, you can leave me a message down below, beep, beep, beep. And you could share my videos with your family, your friends, a rooster, and a chicken. Plus, you can also, I don't have my dinger bell, but don't forget the notification bell, ding, ding, ding. That way you don't miss any videos. Plus, you can also check out my playlist, and you can follow me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman Starlight. You are either a part of the solution or part of the problem. And you know, there's a lot of people out in the world, and they are really working so hard being a part of the solution. And I'm going to ask you, what are you doing? Yeah, you. You know, are you being a part of the solution or being a part of the problem? Are you the problem that we're trying to have a solution for, or are you out there doing something to help out in the community one way or another? And there's lots of people out there that are helping out in one way or another. And so this is what this is about, is that you have a choice in what you do. And you know, there's different types of people out in the world. Like I've mentioned in other videos, there's people that are sleeping, and there's people like awake, like Starlight. I am awake, you know. So and then there's different types of people, and not that one is better than the other. There's we all have a choice. Like if I have a let me see, I'm gonna switch that around. If I have an angel on this shoulder and a little devil on this shoulder, it's up to me which one I spend more time with. If I'm gonna hang out with this angel over here, you know, then I'm gonna do things out in the world like I do now, is to help people out. I'm always doing that. I did that this morning when I got out of McDonald's. I seen two homeless people, a guy and a girl, that are living on the street. They had a shopping cart. I didn't know they had a shopping cart right away, and I could tell they're cold. It is cold, you know. And so Starlight had some stuff in her car to help them out, to kind of warm up a little bit, and also to give them some food, because you know, I don't know where they get their food from. So that's how my morning started. And you know, so you could do stuff like that, is help people out, especially at this time with the homeless people. There's they had the Christmas party today, which I was not there, but they, you know, they were bringing gifts in for the homeless people. And you know, I did go to the building today, but I did not go in, and I saw Santa Claus. So Starlight was like, oh, I'm so glad I didn't go in there. So Santa Claus was waiting in there for me. So yes, you can, you know, be a blessing in the world. And like Starlight feeds the angel side of me more than the little devil over here. You know, I really, the devil and I, we really don't get along really good, you know, so I really tend to stay on this side more than that side. But I don't know about you, you know, what part of you, because we all have a little devil in us, and we all have an angel in us. You don't want to see Starlight getting upset, you know, and there's somebody that knows how to really push Starlight's little buttons, you know, and I got buttons all over here, you know. What button are you pushing? You know, and you know, and we all have different buttons that, you know, some people might purposely push buttons, you know, they might be testing you out, or you know, testing you out, or teaching you things by pushing these buttons. So which one do you feed? Do you feed the little devil more or the angel? You know, and if you're feeding the devil more, that means these are the kind of things that, a person with a dark energy, and I am more of the light, but we kind of have to have a little bit of dark, because that is how this universe is that it's not just sunlight, right? We're not always just, it's not always sunny all the time. There's times that the clouds cover up the sun, even though the sun is out all the time, sometimes we don't see it. And then at night it gets dark, and it is interesting though. There's a lot of people that are of dark energy, the ones that kind of feed their devil side a little bit more. They love to be out at night in strange hours, they like, and that's what Starlight's like when it starts getting dark out and stuff like that. Starlight's kind of, I'm good, I really don't want to, unless I'm going out to dinner or going out to do something, then you'll see Starlight going out. So anyway, is with this world, there's so many ways that we all can be a help in the world. And like me, I am not just making videos here, of all different kind of topics that I can think about, but I'm also, hang on, whoops, pause, thank you. Thank you so much. Sorry about that. It's a shower. I get to take another shower, a shower voucher. So they didn't know I was recording in here. So anyway, we're just going to keep going. So yes, I did get to take a shower. I got to take a half-hour shower. God bless. I don't know. I have to say I'm blessed because I got to take a nice long shower today. So thank you, God. Thank you, angels, because I let go of things that were not, people that weren't good to be around. And it went from, taking a 15-minute shower, by letting them go, now I'm able to take a half-hour shower. See how that works? When we let go of people or things that don't bless us, and we think, I need those people, they're helping me out. Well, you know what? If they're not good for you and you let them go, God is going to bless you in a different way. It's all about you trusting and thinking the positive way, knowing that God is going to, like, things just don't go one way, in this world, is that there's different ways of looking at things, and just because we might have our mind set on things have to go this way, is there's other options and things that are available. So I just wanted to throw that in. I'm on this, not that it has anything to do with what I'm talking about. So anyway, like I was saying, is there's so many things out in the world that we can help, people out in the world. And like I was saying about this time of year with homeless people, is living on the street. I always put myself in their shoes, and I do this all the time. I'm like, you know what? I can't help but to help somebody out. That is who I am, and I'm a Virgo, and we love to serve. At least this Virgo does. So think of ways that we see people that are in need, and I am blown away on the things that God has helped me out with. Like today, this morning, amazing stuff that happened. So I am just so amazed with how God, but I'm not going to mention it in this video, I'll mention it in another video. But look for ways that you can actually help out in the world, because we need you. And there's lots of people. There's people out there that volunteer. There's a lot of thank you for the volunteers that are out there helping in any which way that they can. There's some people like my mom that goes out and cleans up garbage. She's done that for years. I mean, like years. And I used to, and also she volunteers and cleans up areas, like with like parks, the sidewalks, So my mom has been in the newspaper many times for being a good citizen, as going out and picking up trash off the street, or cleaning the sidewalks up, or even picking up car parts. And she doesn't even have a car, but she will bring a wagon around with her and gather stuff and even carry car parts to an auto place, and, give it to them because they might be able to use it, for other cars, so there's numbers of things that we can actually do to make this world a better place, like I have done that before with volunteering, and I raked and raked and raked and raked, and I had piles and piles and piles of bags of leaves. I used my own gas money. I had bags of leaves inside every space inside my car. I loaded that car up, and on the back trunk of my car, I had the trunk full of leaves, and on top of it, I had bags of leaves, and because it was just right down the hill from where I was volunteering at. So, you can help out in the world by making the world a cleaner place. And, there's other people that cook for people out in the world. And I am so grateful for all the places that I've gone where, most of the time the cooks where I've gone, like at soup kitchens or something like that, there's been pretty decent cooks out there where the food, looked fresh, where I've gone at some places where they didn't even cut off the rotten spots off the food, like cauliflower, and you're looking at it and it's supposed to be white, but they never cut the black parts off, so I'm grateful for those ones out there that are out volunteering, like all these food pantries that I go to. So these are different ways that you can help people out, in the community as far as, being that change that you want to see in the world. And do you like trash all over the ground? I don't, and I used to bring my kids up that way. We didn't have a car, but I had a Price Chopper grocery bag, a plastic one, and we used to bring that around, or even a big size garbage bag, because really, that little bag would get filled up really quick. And I taught my kids about not to litter, so, and there's other ways that we can help out in the world to make this world a better place, is for people not to be in a rush to get into relationships and end up having babies, and then, so you got to really slow down as far as like making friends and getting, to know someone, where, I've been guilty of this myself long time ago, where, a lot of times people get together because of lust, because they're lonely, and yes, they're horny. They just want sex. They want a relationship too, but, it's a mix of both, like lust, and, they want to have a good relationship, but, that other part of them, kind of that devil guy over here is thinking, lust. This would be, the angel of love. She's all about receiving love, and this one's like, hey, I just want it now, and patient, where this little angel over here would be very patient, and, and I have been very patient, and so, other ways that you can help out in the world is even the simplest things. When you're out in public and if you see somebody that looks like they need some help, I do this. I mean, there's somebody that would have their hood open. I just helped a lady out not too long ago. I know her, and it's a good thing that I had to go through this many times on my own, as her car wasn't starting, and we're like, wonder why that happened, like why it wasn't her car, but it was her mother's car. And I was helping her out by giving her food, because she's blessed me so many times with helping me out with gas money or water, or like this beautiful black coat. Now I have a black coat instead of the white fuzzy one that I had before, so this way I was able to help her out with some food, because I was grateful for her helping me out at times that I was in need, and then has a need. So it's amazing how you can help each other out, when people are struggling. So if you see somebody's hood on their car up, like I seen yesterday, but, the hood went down, the guy, walked away from his vehicle, there might not be a whole lot I can help the guy with, but, hey, maybe he needs a jump on his car, but I do want you to be safe about these things. Maybe you might see somebody, and I love doing this, is when I see older folks, coming out of the store with their grocery cart and they got a lot of food, and I will let them know that I'm coming up, and I will ask them, there's people that will have those little carts in the store because they really can't walk, but they can drive, they can manage to walk around a little bit, but to do their food shopping all in that one trip, because shopping can take a long time, depending on how much you're shopping for, so you want to let people know, especially the older folks, is let them know that, hey, I'm here, hello, and let them announce yourself that you're there, and just let them know that, hey, would you like a hand? I can help you, to put your groceries in your car, and I can even, help you with the cart, bring that back to the spot where the carts belong, and I've had many people that were so grateful for me helping them out, and so it is important to look for things out in the world, even if you've seen anybody, whoops, sorry, my back is hurting here, I gotta get a little bit closer. So even if you see animals, Starlight is an animal rescuer. I have done that my whole life, and I would do it today too. Here I am. Sorry. Living in my car, but I would stop whatever I'm doing to help an animal out, and because that is how I am. I've done that many times, and when my brother was here, there was times that he had cages, which I didn't, where I would bring the animal to his house, and he was so super good with the animals. So those are different ways to help out, and besides is being a good example out in public, how do you respond out in public? And like I, be that example to other people. If you see trash on the ground, you could bend over and pick it up. I've done this many times. I'm like, it's amazing. There's places like a library, or hiking trails, where we should be so grateful, all the libraries that are around, or hiking trails. And, then what really frustrates me is when here we get to go to the library, don't even have to pay for any of the books unless you want to buy the books that are on the book sale, is, oops, sorry, Starlight's got an itch, is people will throw trash on the outside in the parking lot all over, so there's many times that Starlight has picked up garbage at the libraries or even hiking places, so those are ways that we can actually help out in the world, and besides being good parents to our kids. My kids already grown up, now I got grandkids, and I don't really see them much now because of my situation here, but I call them up and let them know that I love them. I talk to them on the phone, I check what, find out how they're doing. So, but if you got your kids, be that good example to your kids, so that way we're raising up kids in the right way. If you really don't know, because this happens, there's families that struggle and they have different kinds of kids, and then sometimes they have mixed kids, and when I say mixed kids, it's kind of, mixed families, where now you got, like maybe a couple kids from the man and maybe a couple of kids from the girl, and they come together, and then it's like, woo, they weren't thinking of, it's good to take things slow when you're mixing families like that, and you're trying to, blend those two families. You really got to know, like, is this, don't be in a rush to jump into those relationships, and as far as Starlight, I'm like, I did have a stepson a long time ago, and that was a big eye-opener. At certain ages, it's best if you're going to get in those kind of situations that they're younger, the kids are younger. The older that they are, you're going to find out some things about them that you're like, they acted like an angel in the beginning, and then later on, the little horns come out, So it is good to know and see how the kids are going to get along good, and but you never want to rush any kind of relationship, but especially when kids are involved. You really got to make sure, like if you have kids and the other person doesn't, whether it's a guy or girl, you're going to really get to know that person. Are they going to be safe with my children? Are they going to be a good role model for my kids? Because by getting together with the right kind of people, that is how we're going to make a difference in the world, is so then we're the good example. Not that we're going to be perfect, but you want to bring up kids in a good, correct way, so then when they bring up kids that, hopefully, because that doesn't always happen, is hopefully, you guided them in life to help them out, so they are wise on not being in such a rush to hurry up and just go with anyone and then have kids. So because they're going to be the ones out there, and that's why you want to make sure you teach your kids about good things, like about not to litter, and teach them to go out and pick up litter. Go out and show them how to be out in public, and be that a good example as eye contact, like teach your kids to introduce your kids to families. I've seen this so much, it's really bad, is I've seen lots of families that don't even introduce their kids to anyone. They, it's really rude, for that, and you're not going to teach your kids anything if you don't get your kids involved into getting to know your company. And if you're out in the streets, meeting people, at events or whatever, is to introduce your children, teach them that this is normal, and you can start your children at a really young age. And I have to say, not too long ago, I met a really sweet lady. She had a daughter, and she did such a great job. And how it started is I was walking around the pond, and there's a mom and her daughter, and it was so cute. The mom and daughter was jogging around on this bike, on this trail, not a bike trail. Well, it can be bikes, but it's a dirt trail. And then they were walking, and we were coming by each other. I was going this way, and they were coming at me. And I had some, not cashews. I had some, it's not cashews, pistachios, in my palm of my hand. And the little girl saw me, and she did not miss that at all. She's like, "What are you eating?" So I asked the mom if it was all right if I, let her have one, and I made sure she didn't have any peanut allergies or anything. And then we got to introduce each other, and so it was really sweet. And that lady did such a good job by, teaching her daughter not to be afraid of people, but to introduce and, get to know each other for a few little minutes. And then, okay, you get, the little girl let me know, well, we're going to go home. And I'm like, and I'm going to go to the library. And so it was really beautiful with the little girl. It's like, hey, have a good night, and so kids need to learn that at a young age, and to do that throughout their whole life, because there's a lot of teenagers that are stuck up, and it's because of how their parents are bringing them up. They need to interact with adults, and not to be embarrassed or ashamed, or thinking that they're less than or greater than the people out in the community. We need them to learn how to be friendly, but at the same time be safe out in a community. And this is by us interacting with each other in the community and society. That is going to help people to feel appreciative, and where they don't think that you're being stuck up or cold, because this happens a lot in the world. So anyway, you have a choice whether you're, and also making videos. What are you doing on your YouTube channel, or do you have a YouTube channel, or Instagram, or Facebook? Are you putting out positive vibes, or is it like drama and gossiping and negative stuff? So if it's a drama and not negative and gossiping stuff, that's the devil's side. And if it's inspiring people and helping people to raise up the frequency out in the world, then it's the angel time. You know, so you have a choice to which side, either the angel or the devil side, what one you plan on feeding the most. And a lot of people can learn a lot from the little devil over here, because we learn we don't want to be like the devil, and then we like, you know, it teaches us not to be that way, or, you know, not to respond in a bad way. So the little devils out there, the ones of the dark force, you know, they have a purpose here, just like the dark night, you know. And the sun, like the angels out here, is that we're out here to bring light in the world and lift the vibration up. We're the dark by when you feel horrible and when somebody treats you horrible, you learn that wasn't really nice of what that person did to me, and I choose not to be like that, and I'm going to do the right thing. So we got to have a little bit of both in our life. So anyway, I love you, and I really hope you have a great night. You can give this video a thumbs up. Plus, you could subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you could leave a message down below, beep, 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 and you could share my videos with your family, your friends, a cat, a dog. You can also, don't forget the notification bell, ding, 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 and you can check out my playlist. Plus, you can follow me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K, Ding the Starlight. I like this room here. It's got more light. I love this room. I really never been in this room, but this is beautiful. I can see myself here. So anyway, I love you so much. I really hope you get a lot of help, and I will have a video coming up. I guess it's going to take me a long time. I'm going to have to do piece by piece, and it's not going to be as quick and smooth as I thought it was going to be. So you'll see that soon. You'll be like, wow, that must have took, yeah, it's probably going to take me longer than I think. So I'm just going to try to do something a little different as far as my YouTube channel. Not all the time, but I want to really get to learn how to do different things. So anyway, I love you. This is Starlight. Namaste. This is Starlight, love, light, and peace. Thank you for watching. This is Starlight. Namaste. This is Starlight, love, light, and peace.